So for whatever reason, you're feeling like you aren't smart enough. There's some kind of catalyst there driving you to believe this way. Perhaps at one point you felt like you were smart enough, and then perhaps you took a test or somebody told you something that just really stuck with you. And so you started believing it. You started believing that maybe you aren't as smart as you think you are. But I'm here to tell you that you are. You shouldn't allow either a test or some person's opinion of you to be your own beliefs. You are smart enough. You can achieve the things that you want. So much so that I want to share a story with you guys. Now, this is a story I haven't really told anybody about. This story is essentially about my life, about how at one point in my life, I wanted to be a programmer so bad. And I didn't even know anybody, friends, family. I didn't know anybody who was a programmer at the time when I wanted to be a programmer. This was right before I got out of high school. That was my sole thing. I did programming in high school on my own because I enjoyed it. It was something I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed building things. And then it wasn't until about a year and a half later, when I was coming to a turning point in my life, that I actually realized that I had an opportunity to be a programmer again. And this is when I had to take a test for the military. Now, before even taking this test, I hadn't done any studying, and it had been over a year since I've actually been in any kind of schooling. And at that time, I wasn't the kind of self-sufficient, hard driver that I am now. I wasn't studying on my own. I wasn't doing any of these things. But nonetheless, I took this test. It's called the ASVAB test. I took this test to get into the military. And they asked me what I wanted to do. And I told them straight out that I wanted to be a programmer. And I thought this was my chance. After a year of believing that, that dream would never happen, I thought this would be my chance. And then I took that test, and I didn't score high enough. And so at that point, I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I felt like there was no way I will ever be a programmer in my life. I let that test define me. I let that test define my path, define my journey, crushing my dreams at the time. Now, since then, I actually went into a different career. I spent 8 solid years in a career field, which I enjoyed. It wasn't something I really wanted to do, but it was a good alternative to what I essentially wanted to do. I went 8 years, ended up getting out of the military only to go back to college to find that calling again of wanting to go back into computers. And so I went 4 more years in college. I got my degree in computer science. But at this point, I was also 12 years into a completely different realm. And so I got my break. I was able to get a break and actually get my first programming job, even though it was only a month long and they had thought would only be temporary, ended up to actually extend a year and a half out. I got that dream. I became a programmer. Yes, it took many years, and that dream never really died. But I was able to achieve it. And I've been a programmer for a couple years now. See, ultimately, what I'm trying to relay to you guys is the fact that don't ever let a test define you. Don't ever let people define you. They're just opinions. The thing is I want you guys to understand is that these tests, these opinions of other people, they shouldn't define your dream. This is your dream. Sometimes it can come quicker than other times, but as long as you're putting forth the effort and you don't allow that dream to die, that dream will always be there, just waiting for you to take it. Don't ever feel like you aren't smart enough. I don't believe a test should define your intelligence. Now, there is many different intelligences, whether you want to believe that or not, but I truly believe in that. I believe that you may not be smart in one avenue, but you can be extremely smart in another avenue. The thing is to not just allow that test to devastate you or allow people's opinions to devastate you, because it is possible. Maybe your focus just isn't where it needs to be right now. Maybe this realm really isn't for you. The thing is if you really want it, don't feel like you're not smart enough. You're smart enough to do anything that you want. You just have to apply yourself. And you can get there. None of these things really allow you to truly test who you are. And you need to understand that it's okay to fail a test. It's okay to fail. Don't ever get in this fixed mindset when you think that that test or that opinion should dictate the rest of your life. You can still chase after that dream. You need to understand that you need to be in a growth mindset to understand that you can change, that all these things can change. That maybe you may not actually have the knowledge you need right now. But that's not to say you won't have it in the near future. You can obtain that knowledge through effort and hard work. You can obtain any kind of knowledge that you need to achieve that thing that you want. Don't allow any of these other opinions to infiltrate your mindset and try to shrink you into a box that you don't belong in. Because you are more than capable of achieving. So when we start believing these things that lead us to other bad decisions and assuming that, oh, we'll never make it, so, I might as well just take this other job, this second-hand job that I don't enjoy, and completely forget about that job. Yes, I did that, but I didn't let my dream completely die. I came back, I went to school, and I went out and actually got that job. This is what you need to do, is to keep that dream alive. And know that you are smart enough. You have what it takes. You may hear a lot of noise about why you can't do it and you aren't smart enough. But as long as you believe yourself, as long as you understand that you are capable of achieving that, it's possible. It's 110% possible. Don't put limitations on yourself. Everybody is trying to put limitations on how smart you are. But we don't belong in a box. We belong where our dreams, our visualization of where we're supposed to be. That's where we're supposed to be. That's our optimal self. And if you're living in a box, you can't achieve the optimal self because you put constraints on yourself. So don't believe these things, because they aren't true. You have what it takes. You just put forth the effort and you will find that soon enough, you will make it. So I want you to do something for me right now. Right now, what I actually want you to do is stop talking down to yourself. Stop telling yourself lies about how you are not smart, how you will never be capable of achieving a dream. That somebody else is telling you opinions of things of why they can't achieve their dreams, not you. So stop. Be kind to yourself. Understand that you are capable, that you can gain the knowledge you need. Again, you may not have the knowledge now, but it doesn't mean you can't achieve it. So stop beating yourself up and go out and take care of business.